Back on August 19th, I got the brand new 13-inch 2025 Apple iPad Air with the M3 chip. If you want to watch the full unboxing and setting up video, you can check it out directly on my channel. And I'll link it below. Along with the iPad, which was in a beautiful blue color, I also got the Apple Pencil Pro and the Magic Keyboard in white. My original purpose with getting the iPad was that I thought it would make my life as a grad student way easier. Since I was pursuing a master's in music and voice performance, getting an iPad seemed like the obvious choice. It's lightweight, portable, and can hold pretty much an infinite amount of sheet music. Instead of printing out hundreds of sheets of paper, I could carry around the world's biggest collection of music on a lightweight 13-inch screen. Now, 2 months later, I'm letting you know the answer to the main question I've gotten. Is the iPad Air really worth it? Hi, my name is Maddie, and in today's video, I'll be telling you about my experience with Apple's iPad Air. So now that I've been in school for about 2 months and have been using the iPad for all sorts of things like sheet music, taking notes in class, doing class readings, answering text messages, and even downloading some fun games, I can definitely tell you that in my situation, getting the iPad was 100% worth it. I'll show you the products in more close-up detail soon, and if you're going to get an iPad, definitely get the Apple Pencil with it. It really elevates the iPad so you can do all sorts of things with the pencil. For me personally, the thing that has been the most helpful is being able to take notes directly on my sheet music. The other part that I got along with the iPad was the Magic Keyboard. Because I got the iPad during the back-to-school sale Apple was having, I was able to get the Apple Pencil for free and get a pretty significant discount on the Magic Keyboard. Since I did get this keyboard at a discount, there's not really much to complain about. But if there's anything that you might not need, I would say it's the Magic Keyboard. I love the idea of the keyboard and it's definitely been helpful. I have to say that this thing weighs a ton. One of the reasons that I wanted to get the iPad is because I know it's way lighter than an actual laptop. And sometimes carrying a laptop can feel kind of clunky. What I didn't realize is actually how heavy the keyboard is. And while that might seem obvious, it just didn't really cross my mind. On its own, the iPad is super light, but when you combine it with the keyboard, it kind of defeats the purpose. When I added the keyboard to the iPad, I would say that the iPad was just as heavy as my laptop, if not a little bit heavier. So when I wanted to bring both my laptop and my iPad to school, taking it with the Magic Keyboard made my bag really heavy. I did want to get the keyboard though to test if I felt like both an iPad and a laptop was necessary, because as someone who loves the laptop, I was a little worried that when I got the iPad, it would fully replace my need for a laptop. However, I can confidently say that that has not happened. In fact, it seems that I use my laptop and my iPad for completely different things. So the iPad has its own utility that doesn't necessarily replace the laptop, at least not in my opinion. As a writer and a student who needs to write essays, I still find that most of my work gets done on a laptop as related to writing or making presentations. I also still prefer to go through my email and send out emails via my laptop. So in my situation, the iPad has just made my life easier as it comes to my music-related studies. I know that there are some alternative brands that offer keyboards, and if you've tried any of those, let me know in the comments what you thought of them and the quality, because I would be curious to know how they might stack up against the Magic Keyboard. One thing that I do love about the keyboard is how easily it connects to the iPad. No Bluetooth is required at all, and the second that I stick the iPad onto the case, it magnetically attaches and immediately works. Once it attaches, I can just rotate it, and it turns the iPad on and off for me. But now that I have it set up like this, it is definitely heavier. When I wanted to start carrying my iPad and my laptop, I ended up having to take off the Magic Keyboard just to make my bag a little bit lighter. But that left my iPad in danger because I didn't have a regular case. I went ahead and started using an iPad sleeve. This is the one that I've been using. It is super cute and it fits my iPad perfectly. It's by this brand and it's not sponsored, but I would highly recommend checking out their work. It actually fits my iPad with or without the Magic Keyboard. And even though it's a white color, it hasn't gotten dirty yet. However, I still needed to get a case, which brings me to the new cases I've been using. These cases are from ProCase, the sponsor of today's video. They're light, well-made, protective, and come in so many different colors. Since I knew that I would be switching back and forth between using the Magic Keyboard to just putting a regular case on my iPad, I wanted to make sure I got something that was super affordable, especially for a student. And ProCase provided the perfect solution. This is the hardshell protective slim case in blue, which comes in the exact size I needed, an iPad 13-inch case from 2025 with an M3 chip. However, if you don't like blue, it also comes in black, navy, starlight, purple, dark purple, and dark blue. I got the blue case because I wanted to see what it would look like with this iPad. This case was extremely affordable compared to other brands. And as I mentioned, it's way lighter than a Magic Keyboard while still being protective. The case is ultra slim while having a hardback design, made to protect your device while creating minimal extra weight. The translucent, frosted back cover of the case allows you to see the natural color of your own iPad and the Apple logo, while also protecting against fingerprints and scratches. It has a pretty classic and professional design, very similar to some of the iPad cases that Apple makes, and you still have access to all the features of the iPad, including the camera, speaker, ports, and the home button. It also supports the Apple Pencil Pro and any USB-C pencils. Additionally, it works with the auto sleep and wake features of the iPad. Magnets secure the case closure, and it's easy to take on and off. Since I wanted to try a couple of cases and colors from ProCase, I also decided to get this case. This is a 2025 13-inch iPad Air case for M3 chip, and it is the hybrid protective case that comes with a pencil holder. This beautiful color is melon pink, but it also comes in purple, blue, starlight, navy, and black. Once again, this case is super protective, and I'm obsessed with the color. Even though I have a blue iPad, I think this color is just so cute. Just like the blue case, this also has a transparent background, plus a fully built-in section for your Apple Pencil. Again, this case works with Apple Pencil Pro and any other USB-C pencil. The flexible TPU frame and soft microfiber lining protect your iPad from shocks, drops, and scratches. Both of these cases also have a tri-fold front cover, designed with 2 standing positions that can satisfy any viewing or typing needs. Here's what it looks like on both of the cases. Just like the blue case, this one also supports all of the features of an iPad, including the auto awake and sleep. It was way easier for me to use these cases on a day-to-day basis, especially when I didn't need the Magic Keyboard, or I also wanted to bring my laptop. As a musician, these are also super convenient whenever I'm practicing or in a rehearsal, since I can easily prop my iPad on a music stand and fold the cover back like this. I love the fact that the cases are so slim, while still reassuring me that they are providing my iPad with the protection it needs. Plus, it works perfectly with my iPad sleeve, so I can still combine the two. See how portable it is? My overall assessment is that the iPad is worth it. However, it depends on what exactly you need it for. If you're somebody like me who loves using the laptop, I don't think that the iPad is necessarily going to replace your laptop's use. It definitely will enhance your life. If you also have a specific reason for needing it, such as easy portability or access to lots of files, then I do think the iPad is very useful. If you're someone who's been thinking about getting the iPad because you think it will make your job easier or it will help you accomplish another task with ease, then definitely give it a try. Up until 2 months ago, my whole life I've always printed out physical sheet music. When that started becoming inconvenient, I was having to carry PDFs on my laptop, which was super awkward and clunky. There's no music stand that really works well with a laptop, and I can't exactly hold a laptop in the middle of a performance without it being super noticeable. I realized that situation was becoming unsustainable and I needed an alternative. Also, because I have the iPad, I have access to any sort of music I need at any moment. I can simply search a piece up, download it, and immediately have it ready on my iPad to use. My main point with this is if you have a specific task that you want to use the iPad for, go ahead and give it a try. However, if you can't think of a unique problem that the iPad might help you solve, and you already have a laptop and a phone, getting an iPad might not be the most helpful thing. For me personally, I was worried about getting yet another gadget. I was afraid that by getting the iPad, I would be increasing my amount of screen time, when in fact, I've been trying to limit the amount of time I spend on electronic devices. I've noticed in the last 2 months, there's actually been 0 increase in the amount of screen time. Another thing that I will say about the iPad is that I love the Apple Pencil. As I said towards the beginning of the video, if you're going to get the iPad, you might as well get the Apple Pencil. This has been something that I found so helpful. In addition to sheet music, I've also decreased the amount of regular paper I'm using because I can just take notes on my iPad. And for lack of a better description, using the Apple Pencil is fun. And so that is my opinion on whether or not the iPad is actually worth it. In my case, the iPad was absolutely worth it. I do think that that answer changes depending on a person and the exact situation that they're in. If you have an iPad, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you have more questions, don't hesitate to ask. If you do get an iPad, make sure to get your case from ProCase. You can use my referral link and my discount code to get 15% off of your purchase. I'll put the discount code up here and in the description of my video. It's PCFan15. I'll also put the links to both of these cases in the description in case you're interested in checking out these two. And hey, even if you don't get an iPad, ProCase still has a wide selection of items to choose from. Perfect for your phone, iPad, listening system, plus providing tons of tech accessories like screen protectors, waterproof phone pouches, game accessories for handheld gaming consoles, storage and bags for office, school, and home, and noise reduction earmuffs for kids and adults. Check out their website, and thank you so much to ProCase for sponsoring today's video. I hope this video was helpful, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!